Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Coincidence? I think not. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere, even at 30,000 feet. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
No purchase necessary. VGW. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Who remembers the BJ and Bill Show all those years ago on WOLZ? Well, many have said they missed the show, and guess what? They're back. Welcome to the BJ and Bill podcast.
Welcome to BJ and Bill, the podcast, part of the Podcast Playground Network. And my friends, we're up to episode number 54.
54. I think I'm saying it like every week now. I'm just so impressed and so amazed that we continue to truck along here. Two old guys just doing the thing here, and it's amazing to me. So good for us. 54.
And we're having fun.
I don't do it if it ain't fun. I'm not.
I know
I'm at a point in my life where if it's not fun, I don't do it. Period. Full stop.
Besides telling people to review us.
Yes.
And to give us a 5-star review would be awesome. Helps us climb the podcast ladder, as they say.
Right.
Please do that wherever you get your podcast or wherever you do your potting, if you want to be hip.
Potting, is that a thing? Is potting a thing?
I don't know.
I don't think so. Yeah, no, I don't think so. Yeah.
You know, I'm thinking if the young people call it the gram,
right?
Why not? Hey, we're out potting right now.
I there's that. What's his name? Steph Curry and Sue Bird do that car commercial for whatever, and she's like holding up her phone. I got an instant offer on my car, and he goes, I got an instanter offer, and she goes, not a thing, and he goes, yes, it is. She goes, not even a word. It's cute. Anyway, so that's us. We're podding today. So how's it going there, old man?
Pretty good. Everybody. Well, first of all, maybe we should mention we always record our shows usually on a Monday.
Yes.
Today, 9/11, 22 years ago, BJ and Bill were doing their morning radio show. Wow. Just about the same time when someone come in our studio and said, wow, a plane hit one of the Twin Towers.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And of course, in the beginning, everybody thought maybe some plane just kind of like accidentally went into the tower.
Yep.
Then after the second one hit, it all kind of became, what's going on?
Exactly. I thank you for bringing that up, and because I was watching the football game from New York last night, and the coaches on both sides were wearing, NYPD and FDN, fire department hats as well. So very good, respectful there. But I will never forget that. I'm sure you won't either. I will never forget that morning. I'm sure everybody who was around back then, was old enough to remember, will probably remember it forever, but especially for BJ and Bill, because you and I were, like you said, it was probably 9:15 a.m. or something like that. I forget.
Towards the end of our, we was on the air from 9 to 10. It was kind of, we were kind of winding down because, usually 9 o'clock, we knew people were at work. So kind of the fun and games kind of slowed down, and it became a little bit more about music. And so we were winding down the show, and someone comes in and said, hey, plane just went into one of the towers.
And then somebody downstairs, because we had that studio where our studio is on the second floor, but it looked over the railing into the center of the building, which was open. And somebody had rolled a TV over to where we could see it from, and we would look down to the TV and watch that for a while. And then eventually we brought the TV up into the studio. And that was the beginning of a very, very, very long day. Actually, I think I was on the air for about 24 hours straight, I think.
Or did we go to the TV stations? I was thinking that we went after like around noon, 1 o'clock. I think we went, because we had I don't know if it was Fox at the time. It was either Fox TV or there for a while. What was it? ABC 7.
Right. And we put that on the air. You and I didn't go to the TV station. We put that TV station on the air, if that's what you mean. Yeah. Yeah, we did. But I was still there through the whole thing. I was doing a lot of the, updates or whatever the radio stuff too. I remember it well. I really do. And I'm pretty sure if I dug into my little things of the very few things that I kept over the years, I think one of the things I did keep was you and I both, and I think the whole radio station, but I know that you and I both, I think, got some kind of award from Clear Channel for our, good work that day or something. I know I did. I don't know. I'm sure you did too. So anyway, 9/11. Yes, we remember. It's the world hasn't gotten any less crazy either. The world is still a very crazy place.
The only
Lucky Land Casino, asking people, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
Lucky? In line at the deli, I guess?
Aha, in my dentist's office. More than once, actually.
Do I have to say?
Yes, you do.
In the car before my kids' PTA meeting.
Really?
Yes.
Excuse me, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
I never win and tell.
Well, there you have it. You can get lucky anywhere, playing at LuckyLandSlots.com. Play for free right now. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Thing that I must say that was a positive, I mean, if you can get a positive out of a day like 9/11.
Wow, yeah.
The country actually came together. It wasn't about Democrats. It wasn't about Republicans. It wasn't about black. It wasn't about white.
Right.
It was all about what happened, why it happened.
Yes.
And what are we going to do about it? And we all came together.
And you're so right. And you don't see that anymore.
And I don't know if a catastrophe like that would do it again or not. I really don't think it would, as bad as things are right now.
I agree with you. I think that people are so divided. Not in a good, there's no good about divided. People are divided among all sorts of lines, money, class, race, politics, whatever. People are divided. And we have been trained to be divided. And here's where a little of the conspiracy theory comes in. We've been trained, taught, and we have accepted, unfortunately, we have accepted the idea of division among us, black and white, rich and poor, Republican, Democrat, like you said. And now that's just the way we work with everything. We work and live that way with everything. So that I think you're right, that even if something did happen, that it wouldn't bring us together like the way it did before, because some people would be like, oh my gosh, we have to do something about this. And some people would be like, well, they're doing, somebody's doing it to us. And, the other side, they are doing this to us, or what, I mean, look at the COVID thing. Can we use that word anymore? Can we even say it? Look at the pandemic thing, that some people were so crazy about making sure that, everybody got their vaccine. And then there were some people who were like, well, the vaccine's just a plot anyway to get everybody. It's just crazy. It's crazy. But I don't see a way out of it. And thankfully I don't have to figure one out, but I get it. It's crazy.
Maybe we should talk about something. Well, I don't know if it's more pleasant. At least for me, it's pleasant today anyway.
What's that?
Well, we all know this was the weekend. It all came back. The NFL and football.
Oh, thank goodness. Thank goodness. I need it. I need football. Now, Thursday, as we record this, like you said, we record this on a Monday. Last week, what a great game where who'd have thought Detroit Lions beat Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. Great game. And then did you watch Sunday Night Football last night? I watched
a little bit, and then I said, man, this is not fun to watch anymore.
It was hard. I stayed up and watched it, and I distinctly remember last night climbing into bed going, why did I do that? Why? Even the fans in the stadium didn't stick around till the end of the game. Oh, the Dallas Cowboys were they playing some high school team or what? I don't know. The Giants were just awful last night.
You got to ask yourself,
40
are the Cowboys really that good?
Yeah.
Or are the Giants really that bad? That's the question you need to ask.
Yes. And we'll find out next week. As both teams play, start the rest of the season. I don't know. I don't think anybody can be that good, and I don't think anybody can be that bad. I think it was a combination. I really do. I think it was a combination of things. But now, on the other hand, I mean, there were a whole host of games. So, pick your favorite. Tampa Bay won. Jacksonville won for us Florida guys. Yay.
And Miami won.
Miami won, a good one.
It was the trifecta for Florida.
That's right. And my Cleveland Browns beat their cross-state rivals, the Cincinnati Bengals, as well. I mean, kind of beat them bad. So it was a great, other than the terrible football game last night, which I don't really care about the Dallas Cowboys or the Giants. Other than that, it was a great Sunday. It really was.
Now, of course, you kind of like lean a little bit more since you're living in Gainesville. And I know you have a lady friend, around the Jacksonville area. So I know you're more of a Jacksonville fan, but I've, for, years and years,
right,
I've been a Buccaneers fan.
Right.
And I really, and I hate to say this, but, they've had bad seasons. They've had great seasons, and I'm still a Bucs fan.
That's what makes a fan. You're with them through thick and thin. Absolutely. Ask anybody in Cleveland. Yeah.
Yeah. And my thought was, this game is not going to be pretty, and I'm not going to be smiling at the end of the game. And I started watching the game, and I go, yep, I'm not smiling. I'm not going to be smiling at the end of the game. And by golly, that towards the, third quarter, fourth quarter, they pulled it out. They did what they needed to do.
Right.
And they won the game.
And I'm going to be back to being a Buccaneer fan this year because quarterback Baker Mayfield, formerly of Cleveland. So I got connections all over the board here. It's going to be great. So yes, I'll watch those games I'm into it. I'm all in on, but if you're a football fan, everybody is all in on football once it starts. It's awesome. I think I'm not going to say that brings people together. We were talking about bringing people together and uniting people and all that. Football is as good as it gets for bringing people together, sometimes in a nice rivalry way, kind of a thing, but it still brings people together.
It does, but it's like, on Facebook this morning, hey, I'm not hearing from any of you Giant fans today.
Yes, it's Rub It In Monday. It's Rub It In Monday. Yeah.
and I really did. I figured, the Bucs would be getting it rubbed in like, hey, maybe you shouldn't have went with Mayfield. Maybe he wasn't the right choice.
Right.
Even the pundits were saying they was not going to win yesterday.
Right.
Well, punt that one, pundits.
Punt that one. Well, and again, one game does not a season make. So don't be starting to design your Super Bowl ring just yet.
Oh,
I guess is what I'm saying.
I'm not doing that for the Bucs, but no, I'm not designing any ring right now.
No.
I'm not even, I'm
not even close.
I don't even see, the playoffs in my future, but hey, we'll see how it goes.
You might, you might. So, but yeah. And then, but again, really, I mean, if everybody is saying, Jaguars are the ones with the shot here. They're the ones that have really made the turnaround. I don't know if they make a turnaround, but they're much higher than the Buccaneers on all the preseason polls. Let's put it that way. So there you go. I was going to make sure that I'm looking at my phone as we chat, making sure I have and I'm holding it up to the computer, making sure I have my NFL app installed, which I do. So now I can be ready to scroll at a moment's notice. And we'll see how it goes. Yep, that's it. So there you go. Buccaneers beat the Vikings. Final score on that one. Oh, now you're going to want me to do NFL Premium. No, I don't want NFL Premium. Stop bothering me. Oh.
All I got to say is half the teams are now in first place and half the teams are in the cellar.
The funniest Facebook post I saw was Friday morning, when there had been one game in the NFL, and that was the Thursday night game with the Lions and Kansas City. And it said Patrick Mahomes is now officially the worst quarterback in the NFL. And it listed his stats from the game. Well, yeah, he's the worst because he lost the only game that's been played so far, but it was still pretty funny. So yeah, Jaguars beat Colts 31-21. Nice. Of course, back to the Thursday game. Lions beat the Chiefs. There you go. And Cleveland Browns beat the Cincinnati Bengals 24-3. 24-3. They said, well, Joe, I didn't know this, but Joe Burrow, Cincinnati quarterback, had apparently sat out all of preseason or something, contract issues. And they said he looked very, very rusty. So
yeah, Mayfield didn't do a lot snaps either in the preseason.
Yeah. So yeah, it was pretty. Yeah. So anyway, so tonight, so let's get on with this football thing. One last thing though. Tonight, what do you think of now the New York Jets with Rodgers as quarterback? I'm going to watch, but I don't know.
Here and I hate to do this, and it's just, there are those teams that for some reason you just don't want to see win.
Right. No, I get it. I totally get it.
Back in the day when Tom Brady was so amazing,
right?
With New England, the last thing you wanted on a Sunday, oh, they won again.
Yeah, right.
That Brady, that SOB, they won again. Of course, then he moves to Tampa Bay. Oh, that Brady. Damn, he won again today.
That was me. That was so totally me. I'm like, Tom Brady, who cares? Come on. It's New England. Who cares? And then he comes to Tampa and you're like, oh, I love Tom Brady. I'm a huge fan. Yeah.
So let's just do this real quick while we're talking about football then. If there is let's go one or two teams. I don't care. Because I'm going to give you the question first.
Right.
If there's one or two teams this year that you would, you just love seeing lose, who would that team or two teams be? Because I don't care who you are, there is a team or two that you go, I just don't want them to win.
I hate to say it. I'm sorry, but I'm going to say it. And Kansas City is that team. I was thrilled that Detroit beat them the other night. Thrilled. I'm just over it with them. They're too cute. They're a little too much swagger, a little too cute, they got the quarterback, they got the coach, they got this, they got that. They're like, okay, I get it. You got the pieces. Great. Just have a regular season for God's sakes. Enough of this amazing stuff, to use the good word. So yeah, Kansas City is probably that team. It really is. Because everybody else, who else is out there that really needs to be? Well, tell me your pick. Who would you like to see?
It changes from year to year.
Of course.
And this year it'll be the Jets.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm not an Aaron Rodgers fan, especially with all the. I don't know. I just think the way he handled the whole leaving and.
Right.
Am I going to stay? Am I going to leave?
Right.
He did that for like a couple of years. I just would like to see him have the worst season he has ever had in his entire life. Now that's just me, being vindictive.
I get it. Well, you're a fan. We're all fans. Fans. That's part of being a fan of that's really into a sport. You have people that you love, and then you have the bad guys. Kind of like from your old wrestling days, right? You always had the bad guy. So, and then what was that? What do they call those guys in hockey too? There's the guys that go out there just for the sake of starting a fight, right?
Basically, they're the thugs.
Thugs, yeah, thugs. So anyway, if you're a football fan, you got teams you love. You got your Buccaneers, Jaguars. I got all that stuff. Great, I'm into it. You got your teams that. Happy to see him take happy to see him take a loss for the week. So anyway, all right, Jets, cool. Well, you'll find out tonight. You'll get your chance tonight. So there you go.
So, the wife's not going to be thrilled about that.
Why?
We had Thursday night. We had all day Sunday.
Right.
Had Sunday night.
Right.
Now we're going to have Monday night. Only
and
week
then
one,
Thursday
and my
night
wife
comes
is
right.
already suicidal.
The Sunday night game was the only one I saw because I was actually out for the day and little date Sunday there with the new lady friend. So I actually saw none of the stuff. I, watched Sports Center and caught up on all the highlights of the game. So that's fine. And I think my DVR is recording. I think the DVR is recording the Jaguars and the Buccaneers games for me anyway. I'll check on that today, but I'm not so much about going back and watching the game once it's been played. It's like, I already know how it ends. It's like going to a movie and knowing the ending. It's like, why
that's
bother?
like a lot of people.
I know what's going to happen.
I know that do that.
Right.
Like, don't tell me the score. I recorded it. I'm going to go home and watch it.
And I've done that. Absolutely. That if I know I'm going to go home and watch the recording, I'm like, I'm not turning on the radio. I'm not, don't be texting me with anything. I don't want to talk to anybody. Get through the day, get in front of the TV, turn it on, watch. All right, cool. I've done that once or twice, not a lot, but so here it is. It's a Monday morning, by the way, and the yard guys are starting. So you let me know if it gets noisy. So
I'm not hearing anything on this end anyway.
Yeah. Okay, good.
But
so anyway, that's football.
I'm old and can't hear anyway.
Hopefully our audience is, well, not old and can't hear, but hopefully it's not a problem for them. And it hasn't been. So anyway.
And then, of course, yesterday I got away from football for a little bit.
Uh-huh.
Because, the NASCAR playoffs are in progress.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I watched a little NASCAR.
How do you have a playoff in a car in a race?
I'm not sure if I enjoy it or not, but it has, I know a lot of.
Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
NASCAR fans that are not it used to be you got points wherever, how you ended, and how you raced and what place you got.
Right.
And they kept that all year long. And then you had a champion at the end, who won more races, had better placing, the rest of the year. Well, now the final 10, the final 10 races are a playoff where you've got 16 teams that make the playoffs. And after 1 week, 3 get out. Or is it 3 or 4? 4 get out. And then you got another, 3 races and 4 get out. And then the final race, you're down to four people racing. And whoever gets the best finish in that final race is the champion. And I'm not really a big fan of that. You can be some driver that, because now too, if you win a race, you are in the playoffs.
Okay.
So you could win Daytona, the very first race of the year, and lose every race after that and not even get into the top 20 and still be in the playoffs, which I think stinks.
Is that possible? Is it possible to win Daytona and then finish? Because Daytona's, that's as big as it gets. Oops, sorry. This is me showing how little I know about racing, but Daytona's a pretty darn big race. And if I win that, I won't finish in the top 20. Is that what you're saying?
Well, it could happen.
Right.
If you do the point, it's like you have a points leader
right
at the end of the season. And then you have the playoffs, which people that, it should be the top 16 people. It shouldn't be, hey, you won race 1 and then you didn't do squat diddly the rest of the year, but you're still in the playoffs because you won race 1. Or you get lucky and you win another race. Everybody crashes in front of you and you're in 22nd place past the entire big accident. And all of a sudden you win a race. You're in the playoffs.
Uh-huh.
And that I don't like.
Okay.
But I'm not going to ramble that much about racing because there's not that many NASCAR fans out there.
No.
But I'm nothing but a little hillbilly. So.
Well, if you watch Daytona or whatever, they only have 200,000 people in the stands. So obviously there's some fans, but it's not like it's a big TV sport, not like football or whatever. Yeah, I get it. Okay, fine. I get it. All right. Well, good. All right. Look at that. 20 minutes, boy. We've just been rambling on about football and other memories and stuff like that. It's all good.
Yeah. Well,
all good. What? How you been?
Not bad. I'm wondering if I could see myself doing this if I was single.
Uh-oh.
Amazon selling a ready-to-assemble tiny home for $4,950.
I have
and
heard
it's
of that.
$100. It's hundreds of dollars cheaper. I guess Home Depot has a plan for a mini home also.
Yes, they do. I've heard both. Heard both.
Would you live in a tiny home? I would if I was single.
I do now. Well, I don't live in a tiny home, but I live in a 1-bedroom apartment, and I'm very comfortable. How big does it say on Amazon how big the tiny home is?
It doesn't say how big it is. But
yeah. Okay.
Like as long as I have, here are the things that are important to BJ Odom in life.
Right.
One, I must have a computer so I can communicate with Bill and have a podcast.
And all the other things that one uses a computer for. Absolutely.
2, I must have a television. But actually, you can have a computer and a television all in one nowadays.
Yes. Yes, you can.
All I really need is like a nice big screen. Got my little box as my computer. I can, plug into an HDMI cord.
Yep. And you can have the computer. You can have the big screen TV would be your computer monitor. You can certainly do that.
And I need like a big couch that I could sleep on. A wide one, because I like to spread out my arms.
Right.
Or it can be
couch.
A futon.
You would sleep on the couch.
It can be a futon that folds down into a bed.
At your age, you could sleep on a couch or a futon. At your age, be honest.
Yeah, and I can't sleep on an air mattress because I've tried that. No. And at my age, getting out of an air mattress
off the floor.
Oh my God, that is not. I'm not an air mattress person.
Well, it's not so much that you're not an air mattress person. It's that you have to try to stand up off the floor with the air mattress once you wake up in the morning. And that's the problem. I totally get it. Get it.
I can somewhat get out of the air mattress.
Right.
If the wife is still on the other side.
Okay.
If the wife has already gotten up, because your fat butt takes you all the way to the bottom and the rest of the air mattress is like all, nice and high. If I don't have a chair that I can pull myself up on the air mattress, I ain't getting up.
You're like a flipped over turtle. You're just going to be there swimming around going, help. I have that vision of BJ Odom trying to get out. That's hilarious. But it's so true. It's so true.
I almost feel like I should lay on the floor at least like 10 times a day just to try to get up off the floor.
Yeah. So honest question. I mean, how, without the aid of a chair or a couch, without the aid of anything else other than can you stand up from the floor, or how much of a pain would that be?
Maybe eventually I could do it.
Eventually.
Now, I remember when my daughter moved into her home.
Right.
And I guess we were moving and, but she just had, there was just an air mattress. Okay.
Right.
My wife was up and downstairs with the daughter. I'm by myself in a room only with an air mattress.
Uh-huh.
First, trying to get out of the air mattress was a job in itself. And then now, how do I stand up to go downstairs? I'm not going to roll down the stairs.
Right.
So I went over to the windowsill and I pulled myself up.
So you still used something other than yourself. You rolled over to the windowsill and you used that.
I think I might be able to get up all by myself. But another thing, I've lost a lot of weight. I'm a little bony. So when I'm on my knees are hurting because my little bones are like, oh, ow, ooh. I remember I used to be able to crawl across the floor when I was a baby and not have any problems. Now I can't even crawl because it hurts my knees too much because I got no fat in between my knee and my knee bone. Bill is really enjoying this conversation.
I am enjoying the hell out of this conversation. This is your next 20 minutes right now, right here. You listen to this podcast and you will go back and say, I can do a whole routine out of this. This is a whole act right here. 20 minutes trying to stand. Okay. Interesting. Funny. And yeah, no, it's just funny. I'm sorry. That's hilarious. So Yeah.
While we're laughing at BJ.
Yes.
Let's just continue the fun. So I told you we were going to go to Epcot to see the Foreigner Journey, which I thought was going to be at least some real members, but no, it was a tribute band.
A tribute band. Come on.
But they were good. They were a very good tribute band. They were awesome.
I saw one of your posts I saw one or two of your little video clips on Facebook. Yes, they sounded fine.
So we're on our way home.
Right.
Now, we talked about me getting out of bed. Well, I have a little mobility scooter because if I have to walk all around Epcot for half a day,
right,
I'm not going to be able to walk for 2 or 3 days after that.
Right.
Well, I have a little mobility scooter. Sometimes I will switch off and let the wife drive the little,
the scooter,
and I will walk to get exercise. Okay.
Right. So this is one of those little electric chair thingies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So we're going home now.
Right.
This hasn't worked for over a year. I can take the little keychain that I have, with the key on it for the mobility scooter, and I could push a button, and it would be like if you just touch it, it'd go whip, 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 whip. And if you started to push it away, it'd go whip, 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 meow, meow,
and why? You should see his face trying to make these noises. And why does it do that?
So
is it like an alarm?
You wanted to set the alarm.
Right.
And you're going to walk away from your scooter, maybe, to go to a show or to ride a ride or something like that. If someone started to push it away, steal your little scooter.
Yes.
It would go, whip, 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 bop, 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 bop,
all right.
And, people go, oh my God, what's going on with that scooter? Someone's trying to steal it.
All right. Gotcha. So it's an alarm.
Hasn't worked in over a year.
Has not worked.
So I never worried about it.
Got it.
We're going home from Epcot last Tuesday night. All of a sudden, at first, my wife pulls over because she thinks there's a cop.
It is Ryan here, and I have a question for you. What do you do when you win? Like, are you a fist pumper, a woohooer, a hand clapper, a high fiver? I kind of like the high five, but if you want to hone in on those winning moves, check out Chumba Casino. At ChumbaCasino.com, choose from hundreds of social casino-style games for your chance to redeem serious cash prizes. There are new game releases weekly, plus free daily bonuses. So don't wait. Start having the most fun ever at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Behind us. All of a sudden, I kind of thought the same thing. And all of a sudden, I think that's my scooter.
So do you have a little trailer for it, or they have those like mounts, like a bike mount?
I've got like a little what they call a lift.
A lift, yeah.
Where I drive up on it, and then the lift takes it up and you strap it on and you drive off.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
So it's on the lift and it's going and it does that really loud. I mean, really loud.
Of course.
For like 30 seconds. And then of course it'll stop if people stop touching it. Well, so we pull over, and I'm saying, let me try and figure this out to get it off. So I'm trying to, do the keychain, everything else that used to work, still going off.
Right.
Here we're in the parking lot of CVS. It's a wonder somebody didn't call the cops going, these people are trying to steal this thing. So I guess the alarm doesn't work anyway because nobody did a crap about it.
Right. Nobody cares. Somebody's stealing the old man's scooter. What the hell?
And, there's like these 3 cables that plug in.
Okay.
And that's like the battery, going here and there. So
on the scooter, yeah.
I will unplug the battery.
Aha.
Took the 3 cords away.
Still doing it because the alarm has its own battery. So just in case somebody tries that, you can't F with it. I get it. So
finally we just drove home with the
really all the way home.
And no one in the neighborhood said somebody was stealing my scooter because I had to get it in the garage. I had to get it off the lift. Thing went off probably 5 times while I was doing that. Somebody walked by, looked like, what the hell is he doing? Finally, I get it in the garage. I don't touch it.
Right.
It's fine. Doesn't make a noise. We sleep.
Right.
The next morning, I said, okay, I'm going to take this to the scooter store.
Good.
See if I can't get it fixed.
Good.
Of course, here I am trying to put it on the car. Whoop, 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 me.
Well, because it's rolling, it's moving. If you park it in the garage and it's not moving, it's like, okay, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm not going anywhere.
So here we are. We had to go like probably, I think it was like 14 miles. It was about a 30-minute jaunt.
Sure.
And of course, we had to go down this back road that's bumpier than hell. So the whole road.
You now have 45 minutes of your next set, and it's all ties in. It's scooters, it's getting up off the floor, it's all about getting old. You got a whole new set right here, right now. I love that song.
So
yes,
the guy calls from the scooter store.
Right.
It is, I will admit, it's a piece, I got it cheap, so I got it from Japan, obviously.
All right, so it's not the Cadillac of scooters, is what you're saying.
Right.
Well,
Mr. Odom, we've been looking, and we can't get a new alarm. We can't find one that goes with a scooter. I go, let's just do this. Hell, I was in CVS. I was at my house. Nobody called anybody when it was going off. So I said, I don't even think I need the whoop, whoop,
alarm.
bump, bump.
Yeah.
I said, you just disconnect it, and then I'll come and get it.
Right.
So that's what they're going to do. Then they're
going to disconnect.
I'll get it either later today or tomorrow.
Okay, good to know. Everybody notice. Now you can steal BJ's scooter, and he'll never know. Dun dun dun.
And no one will really care either.
And that's the point. Nobody cares. Jeez, whiz. You old people. You're scared. Yeah, listen to me. That is awesome. That's an awesome story. Sorry, it just is. Yeah. Yeah, I know.
I can't get out of an air mattress, and my scooter's alarm.
Yeah.
Is a mind of its own.
And how's your golf cart? Because that's the other piece of old people technology. You got to have a golf cart.
That's working fine.
Okay, good.
Let's have a little bit of a noise in the rear. I hope I'm not losing the rear end.
Might be a little gear shift thing or something. I don't know. Because I have a friend that has a golf cart in Venice, Florida. And she was just telling me over the weekend about how she and her sister went out for a golf cart ride, just literally in their neighborhood. And this golf cart, I've known this golf cart for years, and the batteries are like right on the edge of dying, or the motor or something. And this neighborhood has little canals with really cute little Italian kind of bridges, walkways, and golf cart pathways over these canals. But if your golf cart, and trust me, you're looking at a man who has pushed this golf cart over these bridges, and it's no fun. And she was telling me again this weekend, she and her sister went out for a ride, and it was like, oh my God, we got to the last bridge, and I didn't think we were going to make it. I'm like, did you? She said, just barely. It like chugs up the bridge. Ka-chung, 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 ka-chung. I'm like, okay, fine. Well, whatever. So these are old people problems.
I like to charge ours like every other day if we're using it.
Yes.
Regularly.
Yes.
But my wife, she'll take it down to like the last notch. And I'll get on there going, oh my God. Why don't we? Because she goes to the clubhouse more than I do, because she does knitting and others, community involved things. I don't do them.
Sure.
And I'll get on there and I'll go, oh my God, how did you get it this low?
Right.
How do we even get back?
Right.
Oh, no, I still got a bar. I go,
It's
yeah, you got a bar.
One bar. Yeah, one bar.
After that bar goes away, you got no bars.
You're pushing. And trust me, I found out the hard way that there's a little switch inside that disengages the motor from the gears or something like that to make it easy to push. Because if you try and push it when it's still connected, you're working against the motor and the gearing, and it's I don't want to go there anymore. I almost had a heart attack pushing that damn thing. So never mind. I'm done with that. All right, look at that. Now, BJ Odom, you're welcome, sir. I hope you're taking notes, because you now have your next comedy act right here. It's ready to go. You can listen back to this. All right, so look at that, 36 minutes already into the show. We're just getting started, as they say. Unbelievable. What do you got for us in the second half?
Let me see here. I can't really tease that one. That was just something I got to ask you.
Okay. All right.
I guess we could talk about if you're a snooze alarm person or not.
I'm not.
Do you use your snooze alarm?
Not
how
really.
often do you let it go off?
Yeah.
Maybe we can, talk about how far you'll drive to your favorite restaurant.
A long way.
I got another one that I got to bring up because people want to know.
The unteasable tease. So
yes,
BJ Odom has stand by, folks. I have no idea what he's going to talk about, but I guarantee you it will be funny.
But let me tell you, it's another thing old people do.
We are working on BJ's next comedy routine. The next installment is coming up next. Welcome back. I'm Bill Stevens. That's BJ Odom. This is BJ and Bill, the podcast. So if you'd like to get in touch, feel free to reach out.
Okay, round two. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, oh, sorry. We were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right. ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Our email address is BJ and Bill Podcast. Remember, as I always say, got to spell out the and, BJ Bill Podcast at gmail.com, or head over to the Facebook page like so many people have done at BJ and Bill Podcast. And as we mentioned earlier, we would love to read your 5-star reviews wherever you get your podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever, it doesn't matter. I was driving to the girlfriend's house the other day and listening to our podcast along with others as I drove. And it's a wonderful way to make the miles pass that much easier. So there you go. So
yeah, who needs a radio station when you can listen to a podcast?
And who'd have thought we would be the ones saying that 20 years later, right? The radio guys are like, who needs a radio station? Well, okay. I'm still paying for that Sirius XM because and that's because I think that's because I'm a radio guy. I still like to hear a live announcer, even though he or she is not local, not talking about the weather or whatever. There's still a little bit of news, a little bit of music stuff happening. I still like that human voice now and then, and I'll pay for it. Okay, I guess you got me.
I like when I take a trip, I will scan the radio still. I'll listen, if we're taking a long drive, I'll listen to podcasts, but I'll still, especially if I get out of my local area.
Right.
I like to scan the radio just to hear what's out there.
Very cool.
But when you go through Georgia, you're going to hear country music and you're going to hear a lot about God.
Yes, you are.
You're going to hear that all the way through Georgia.
You're going to hear so much.
Unless you go through Atlanta, then you can listen to radio again. And then you're back to even then you're going to hear some and then you're in Tennessee, country music and God.
Yeah.
Then you're in Kentucky, country music and God.
There you go.
At the end, you get to hear a little bit more variety, but a lot of country and God there too.
Yeah, I know. That's just the way the business is nowadays. All right. So anyway, before the break, BJ Odom had the unteasable tease, or whatever that means. You ready to try that?
Yeah, because I hate to throw my mother-in-law under the bus because she's not here to defend herself.
Okay, but you will anyway.
God bless her soul,
I understand.
She's missed every day.
Having given that disclaimer, now here it comes.
So and I notice as I get older, I'm becoming that person a little bit. Maybe you're one of those people. So you're in a restaurant.
Right.
And let's say you go to Cracker Barrel.
Oh, boy.
And they bring you, because they like to bring you the biscuits.
Of course.
And they like to, bring you the little rolls.
Love them.
So they usually bring you, some butter.
Yes.
And they bring you some jellies.
Yes.
Well, I usually ask for honey because I usually get the cornbread, but they still bring the jellies,
sure,
the jams,
sure,
the little containers. Now, as I said, my mother-in-law used to do this all the time at restaurants. I'm finding myself doing it too. I take the little jams and I sneak them into, my little, pocket or whatever.
Of course.
I walk out with the little jams.
Of course.
And,
how many
sometimes
do you have like a crate full of them now?
No, because I usually eat them when,
Oh, okay.
I don't just hoard them. I eat them.
Good.
And if I go into like Starbucks, which they charge you enough anyway, I don't feel guilty in Starbucks. But I usually drink stevia.
Oh, sweetener. Yes.
Sweetener. Sweetener.
Yes, that's stevia. It's in this coffee right now. Stevia. Love it. Love it.
So when I see like stevia's like just laying out, I'm not going to take like the whole thing. I'm not one of those people. But I might take 2, 3, maybe 4 at the most.
2 or 3. Sure.
Slide them in my pocket as I'm drinking. Slide out.
You haven't said anything I haven't done yet.
Oh, good. Then
yes.
Now, did you do this when you were younger, or this as you got older you did these things? Because I don't remember doing those things when I was younger.
I'm gonna have to agree with that. I don't know if that's because it's not like it's not like a 59-cent little jar. Well, I don't know what a jar of jam or jelly costs now. Obviously, it's not 59 cents. I don't think $2 or $3 for a jar of strawberry preserves is going to break the bank at my house. So it's not a money thing. That's what the point I'm making. It's not a money thing. It's just they bring them, and especially now wait, especially at Cracker Barrel, if they put it on the table and you don't use it, I'm pretty sure it's getting thrown away. I'm pretty sure they can't recycle that and put it out for the next person. I might be wrong.
By law, I know because, my days, short-lived as they were,
right,
owning a restaurant.
In the restaurant business, yes.
Like if you take silverware and you wrap silverware and you put it on a table, by law, I'm not saying people don't do this, but let's say I don't touch that, so I don't unwrap that silverware.
Right.
By law, when I pick it up off the table, I'm supposed to unwrap it, put it wherever it goes, where for you to wash your dishes.
Sure.
And take that napkin and dispose of it.
Right.
Also, like if you take let's say somebody orders a side of gravy,
right,
and you bring the gravy. I'm just saying an example. I mean, most people only have one gravy, but you have white gravy and you have brown gravy.
Sure.
Let's say you wanted the brown gravy, and you bring the white gravy, and you go, "Oh, I wanted the brown gravy."
Right.
Go, okay, I'll go get you the brown gravy, and you leave the white gravy. You can't take that back after you've taken it to the table. You can't take it back, serve it to anyone else. It's a no-no.
Correct.
But now with jelly,
they're
sealed.
Have
to open it.
You have to. What do you mean? You're talking about you, the customer.
Yeah, you'd have to open it.
Right.
So I think if maybe it's never opened, and I don't know, I'd have to look into that law. But I think if the jelly was never opened,
right,
I think you could do it. Now, here's what baffles me, because you're not supposed to be doing these things, but now you can bring syrup. Some restaurants bring syrup.
Right.
And then, you don't use syrup, or you don't especially use all of it.
Right.
Now, don't tell me they're not using that syrup. And I don't know what the law is there.
Interesting that you mentioned that, because the last time I was in Cracker Barrel, one of the people at our table had pancakes or something, and they bring an actual real glass jar.
That's what I like about Cracker Barrel. Yeah.
Yes, that is awesome. A sealed jar. So again, I'm wondering, I don't know, and if one of our listeners knows, feel free to share this information. Like you said, if it's sealed, if it's a little butter thing that has the little plastic seal, how they come in the little tiny tubs, or the jelly, or the whatever, if it's sealed, can you reuse it or put it out for the next customer? Good question. I don't know that. So
salt and pepper shakers, they don't pick those up every time when somebody leaves.
No, of course, but that's damn interesting point. So who knows
we're talking about this. It brings up another subject that I just thought of.
Oh my God. It's just stream of consciousness here today.
So when you go to a pizza restaurant,
yes,
they always have that Parmesan on the table. Mm-hmm. The little shaker.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever use that?
Of course.
I used to use that.
Uh-oh. But now
we're in a pizza shop in Orlando. This is years ago, though. This isn't recently.
Right.
And they have all the little, Parmesan,
sure,
shakers on the table.
Sure.
So we're sitting there enjoying our pizza, and I look over, and there's 2 ladies with 4 children. They're just talking up a storm, not watching the children. One of the children is licking the top of the cheese shaker. After that day,
never again
have I used a cheese shaker at a pizza shop.
Never, ever. Now, I will say, for my former employer, Domino's Pizza, we had the little packages, the little packets. We had the hot pepper flakes.
Too.
Yes.
That wasn't really a sit-down place.
Right. Exactly. So yes, if it would, now Domino's doesn't have sit-down. Well, they kind of do in some places, but that's another story. So yes, you're right. If it's delivery, I can grab 3 or 4 of the packets, throw them in with with the pizza, with the delivery. If somebody wants it, knock yourself out. But now that you say it, now I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it ever again. Now that I have that vision in my mind of some snot-nosed little kid licking the top of the cheese shaker. Thank you for that, Mr. Odom.
And then he would shake it out on a napkin, I think, so it'd get more on top. Then
right.
Back to licking again.
Why couldn't you just eat the damn cheese in the
napkin? That's what I was saying.
Come on.
I want to go there and go, you stupid kid, it's right there. You just poured some out. Now you're licking it again? And of course, the 2 moms just, yeah. What are you watching? I wanted to beat that kid. Now,
okay.
I will admit.
Uh-oh.
Back in my teenage years.
Yes.
And I was a little whippersnapper that sometimes liked to pull pranks.
Uh-oh.
Don't tell me you've never done this. Taking the salt shaker, loosened it.
Not the salt shaker.
And you put it back on.
The pepper shaker.
You don't screw it back on.
You unscrew it and then you just sit it right on the top. Yep. So somebody takes the pepper and goes bang, and it's the whole bottle of pepper on top of your omelet. Enjoy, Grandpa. All right, man, we're brutal today. We're brutal. So anyway. Oh man, this is terrible.
I'm not the only one that steals the jelly then.
No, everybody does. Well, I'm not going to say everybody, but yeah. I mean, come on. If there's, I'm probably going to, which is funny you mentioned that because we were, the lady friend and I were doing a little grocery shopping. We were going to go on a little road trip yesterday. Which I should mention that we found an amazing little place over on the East Coast. Anyway. And so but we're walking through Walmart buying some goodies for our little travels. And she goes, oh, we need a little mayo. I brought some bread for sandwiches and stuff. So we went over to the deli and we stole a few. We borrowed a few little packets of mayonnaise right there from the counter. And again, I'm not taking the whole thing. I took like 3 or 4 of them because we needed that many. And so they're there. They're out. They're free. Enjoy. So yeah, I get. So even yesterday, I am doing exactly what you're talking about. So there you go. It's all good. That's all I'm saying.
Speaking of eating, here's another question I have for you.
Oh my gosh.
How far will you drive out of your way for food that you really like?
I will say here in Gainesville, I am blessed, and I mean blessed, to have every kind of restaurant you could ever imagine very close to me because there's a big shopping plaza, Butler Plaza, right here off of my highway exit in Gainesville has everything. So, but to answer your question, I'm not above a half hour or 40-minute drive for a good place that, you can't get anywhere else kind of a thing. Absolutely. I would do that. Sure.
Well, that's like for Father's Day. I had my family drive me all the way on the other side of Orlando just so I could go to White Castle. That was my Father's Day meal.
White Castle. I remember we talked about that. Yeah. How long of a drive?
That was about a 40-minute drive from where I live.
Yeah. I would not drive 40 minutes for White Castle. I'm sorry. I just wouldn't. But a really good meal, yeah, I would drive 40 minutes for sure.
Well, I'm a little boy who lived in a small farming community.
Right.
So it used to be, if we wanted to even go to the local drive-in, that was like a 15, 20-minute drive. Of course, where we are here now in I almost said Winter Haven again. No, we're in Claremont. We're really between Claremont and Davenport. So if we really want to go to a restaurant or something, we have to travel about 20 minutes at least to get to the restaurant, which isn't bad.
No, that's not bad. No. And again, like I said, if you're if you're in Gainesville, you've got lots of good options. Once you leave Gainesville, there's nothing. It's an hour to go anywhere from here. I mean, Ocala, okay, 45 minutes. There's nothing in Ocala. There's nothing there. There's the Amazon warehouse. Great. But then to the East Coast, to St. Augustine, where the lady friend lives, that's an hour and 20 to her place or whatever, and then over to the beach, etc. So yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Before I forget, I wanted to mention that, and excuse me, I have to look it up. So I got to get that name of the park because I don't want to mess it up. There it is. Yesterday, lady friend and I went out for a little cruise over on the East Coast, south of St. Augustine. And if you are ever in the neighborhood and have the opportunity, Washington Oaks Gardens State Park, Washington Oaks Gardens. It's literally on A1A, about 5 miles south of Marineland. I mean, the old school Marineland Dolphin place right there on the beach. And it was knockout gorgeous, of an old, almost like a plantation kind of a thing that was bought in the 1900 somethings and by the early settlers of the area. And of course, the millionaire wife lady turned it into this garden kind of a thing. And it's just 350 acres that goes from the intercoastal on one side to the beach on the other side of A1A. It's all the same park, and it is beautiful, just beautiful. Maybe I'll post some pictures on our Facebook page or something. Washington Oaks, it's called. So if you're ever on the East Coast and looking for something to do, it's a state park. It's $5 for the carload. It's a great place. Just beautiful. Just beautiful. So anyway, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. She would. And I enjoyed it. I mean, lady friend, she went nuts over how beautiful it was. They have a rose garden and a butterfly garden and all that stuff. So yeah, it was very pretty. And then we went and sat out, watched the boats come and go on the intercoastal because the property goes all the way out to that. And then we went out to the beach. It was kind of a rough day on the beach, so that wasn't great. But we were there just to try it. So anyway, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Now, see, as a man dating, I would be more than happy to take my girl to a place like that with all that beautiful flowers stuff. As a married man of over 35 years, ain't no way in hell I'm going to a place like that.
Football game's on. Come on. Yes, I get that. I understand that. And that there's a part of it there. Now, it's week 1. I'm going to be home in time to see the Sunday night game. I got Monday night. I got Thursday night. There was nothing on that really I had. There was no must-see TV for football that I was aware of. I don't even know what games were on for me in my local area. So, yeah, I was happy to make that trade.
I was happy too because I remember I told you this before football season. We had that little conversation. You said in your area, because you're closer to Jacksonville, you always got Jacksonville, the Jaguars.
Yes.
And I always said, well, I was in the Tampa Bay area. So my television, I always got
Buccaneers.
The Bucs.
Yeah.
I didn't know, because now we're in the Orlando television market, what games we would get.
Oh.
I'm happy to say yesterday I got the Bucs, and I also got the Jaguars.
Nice.
Very got to see, and if you kind of had to go back and forth, but also I got to see the Dolphins game.
Wow. Look at
and thank God the wife.
You needed 3 TVs.
I did. Well, no, they all weren't. Two of them were playing at the same time.
Right.
Not all three.
Well, you get that NFL Sunday ticket. You can do a 4 split screen for it. Yeah.
Good thing though, my wife and my daughter wanted
Yes.
to go see Toby Mac, which is a, religious singer.
Okay.
He was at Epcot.
Oh, okay.
So they went to Epcot.
Ah.
No one griped at all about me watching races and football and just going back and forth and back and forth. And I'm like, now this is the life.
This is the whole life. Jay Odom had the house to himself and the remote to himself. Most importantly, the TV remote. Yes.
The feet up, the remote.
Perfect.
Although my daughter left her dog there, so I had a dog on one side of me and a dog on another side of me, but I can live with that.
Okay. Yeah, dogs are, I'm okay with dogs. So I love dogs. So not the little yappy ones, which I think you have one, but that's okay. That's for you.
Well, now ours doesn't yap when we're alone.
Uh-huh.
Ours yaps though, like if you would come to our door.
Right.
Probably yap for about 3 minutes.
Well, that's his
and
job.
All of a sudden it'd say, okay, I've yapped enough. I'm going to go sit down.
That's his job. He's doing his job. His job is to say, oh my God, there's a stranger here. Oh my God, watch out.
That's what my wife says. She always says, he's just warning us. Did he trying to protect us?
Yes.
You go, well,
you don't believe that?
He doesn't need to protect me. He can shut the frick up.
That's funny. I was listening to, and this was another podcast on, I don't know how I got onto the subject of somebody was talking about training dogs. I think it was more about psychology, but it ended up going off on a tangent about dogs. And they said that if you, and this works for people too, that was the example. Like if the dog does something right and you give him a treat, it's like, oh, good, good boy, here's a treat. And he'll go, oh, great. Oh, I associate that thing I did with getting a treat. Yay. Awesome. If you wait, and all it literally takes is 1 minute. If the dog does something good and you wait 1 minute to give the dog a treat or to say, bad boy, don't poop on the carpet, he doesn't know what it was for.
They have short-term memory.
People do too, though, but I mean, not as bad because people have language, obviously, and I can say, little Johnny, good job mowing the grass yesterday. Here's $5 or whatever. But the dog, all he knows is, what did I just do? Literally, what did I just do 2 seconds ago that's either getting me this treat or getting me this bad boy thing? And that's all he knows. So you can't, so anyway, I don't know where that came from. But
I don't know if my philosophy.
Training dogs.
I don't know if my philosophy is right or not.
Uh-oh.
But like, we have like a little bell by our sliding glass door.
Mm-hmm.
And we've had 3 dogs now, maybe 4, that would go ring the bell when they needed to go out.
Oh.
So our little puppy rings the bell more than I think it needs to. But it'll ring the bell and it'll go out and squat. Now, I never go and feel the grass to make sure, because it's a little dog, so it's like pretty low to the ground.
Right.
So she squats.
Oh, wait. So what you're saying is the dog might know that it goes outside for that purpose, even if it doesn't do it?
I'm thinking, and I've told my wife that. She goes, the dog was squatting. I go, yeah, the dog goes out, squats, doesn't even really whiz, but says, fool them. I squatted, and runs right back. Because sometimes he'll only squat for like about 2 seconds and then run right into the house and look where the treats are, because it knows where the treats are. And goes,
So what you're saying is, go ahead.
I ring the bell. I squatted. Right? Give me my treat.
Oh my gosh, have we stumbled onto something here? So you're totally right. The dog has you trained. The dog has trained BJ, not a hard thing, I might add, not a hard thing, that when he goes out, makes this move, whatever it is, comes back in, gets reward. That's what so you have him trained that he gets the reward no matter what.
Well, I don't know. You don't
know what he's doing. Right.
My wife's done this with every dog. Every dog rang the bell, go out and go to the bathroom.
Right.
Excuse me. All the other dogs were tall enough. You could say, okay, I can see it. I can see the little stream.
I can see him doing his business. Yes, I get it.
But this dog is so small
Oh.
And so furry, it squats, it covers the squat, and I am not going to feel the grass to make sure that he gets a treat. She gets a treat. Here, let me feel the grass. Let me feel the grass and make sure you get a treat, dog. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to give the dog the damn treat.
I am so sorry the hour is over because this is another hour's worth of material. Remember this for next week, folks. Oh, my God. So the dog, so you're not training the dog. The dog is training you. Absolutely, positively. The dog has you trained. I go outside. I ring the bell. I go outside. I come back inside, treat. He would do that all day. He or she would. Right. Okay, right.
Now, if she don't squat, she don't get no treat.
So just run around equals no treat.
No treat.
Run outside, squat equals treat. Oh, my gosh. This is better than training killer whales. I mean, you got this. You have nailed this. I shouldn't say that. The dog has nailed this.
Maybe the dog is with it each time. I don't know.
It doesn't. The dog doesn't.
Is a dog smart enough to squat without whizzing?
Oh my God, yes. If it means a treat, of course. he'd go out and he'd, jump through hoops or whatever if that's what it took. Oh my gosh, you're onto something here, BJ.
And listen to this story. Now I know we're running out of time.
One more. Yeah, but it's okay.
Like
finish
when
the story.
I'm
it's
home
awesome.
with the dogs, and I'm even talking about my daughter's dog. They know that I don't like. You better go, or you better need to go if I'm going to get up and take you out.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So they hardly ever ring the bell when I'm home alone. When the wife is home, they ring it 4 times as much as when I'm home alone. Because sometimes I say, ring the bell. I'm watching this. Until they have a wreck or the laps, until, it's time for a break, commercial break, you're not going out. So a lot of
times.
You're
not jumping up in the middle of the show. I get it. Yep.
So a lot of times they won't ring the bell for me. But boy, as soon as mom gets home, ring, 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 ring.
Wow. I mean, there's a whole internet dog training course right here that we could make $1 million with. Wow. That's so interesting. We need to get like a dog trainer or something on to talk about this. This would be
but
awesome.
Our last 3 dogs have always rang the bell at the slider when they needed to go out. My wife has taught them all that.
I'm just going to make a suggestion here. They're small dogs. Dog door. Come on, dog door. No?
No,
you don't want to put in a
alligators
dog door.
can come through dog doors.
Yeah, I know that. Trust me, I know that.
And of course, you don't know my wife. We can't let the little dog out all by itself.
But you do.
No, we watch it.
You sort of do. You're watching him. But you're in the house and he's out there.
No, I go out
Alligator
there.
decides.
Well, how would I know if it's squatted if I didn't go out there or not? Because believe me, if there's no squat, there's no treat.
There is so much material that needs to be. There is so much fertile ground here to plow the plant that has got to wait for next week. I'm sorry. Just write this down and we will pick up right where we left off with dog training and dog treats and dog pooping next week on BJ and Bill, the podcast. Unbelievable.
If my wife would only learn how to treat me, I would do different things too. Hey, you got a new girlfriend.
Yes.
Sure, hey, I'll do this for a treat. I'll do this for a treat. I'll ring the bell.
Oh, baby, will I ring the bell? This is all awesome stuff. Boy. All right, folks, I hope you've had as much fun listening to this podcast as we have had presenting this podcast to you today. Episode 54 is in the can, and oh my gosh, it's been great. So as always, leave us that review, 5-star review, wherever you get your podcast. We love you. We appreciate it. You do that, right? Right.
Episode 54. Where are you?
That's right. Episode
Wasn't that Car 54? Car 54.
Yes, it was. Yes. Wow.
Episode 54. Where are you?
Where are you? Yeah. Man, And then next week, it's the I Can't Drive episode 55. So we could start doing jokes about all these numbers. This is great. This is great stuff. All right. Mr. Odom, you have a fabulous week. We'll talk again soon. And until then, it's just up to BJ Odom to say,
see ya!
With Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to... Has anyone seen the bride and groom?
Sorry, we're here. We were getting lucky in the limo and we lost track of time.
No, Lucky Land Casino, with cash prizes that add up quicker than a guest registry.
In that case, I pronounce you lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Daily bonuses are waiting. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.